Hi, this is Eamon.
And this is Chris.
Thanks for listening to
Fairy Tale Football.
We've pulled out some highlights from Season 1.
Check out our articles and stats at fairytalefootball.net and follow us on Twitter.
And don't forget to join our league.
Stay tuned for Season 2.
Welcome everyone, this is Fairy Tale Football, a podcast devoted to the English Premier League fantasy football. I'm your host, Eamon O'Leary, and with me, Chris Stato Brown.
How you going, guys?
We're broadcasting live from our Deer Park studios. How will people find us? They can go to our website, fantasyfootball.net, and click on the link there. Fairytalefootball.net. Thank you very much, Chris.
This is no fantasy here, guys.
No, this is Fairy Tale Football. Thank you very much. So you can follow us on Twitter. What's our Twitter handle, Chris?
The Fairy Tale League.
The Fairy Tale League.
No just Fairy Tale League.
Fairy Tale League. I've done my research. Thank you very much. And join our legion of fans who are following us. Can you give any examples of people who are following us?
We're up to 10.
We're up to 10 people. 10 people are following us on Twitter. It's fantastic. One of them's me.
One of them's
Damien Foley, who's out there somewhere.
We have 7 dedicated followers
who have no connection to us, except that we said we'd follow them if they followed us back. So
they might abandon us sooner than we realise.
They might, but we'll see how they're going throughout the show. I think they're going to be joined by others as we go on. So you can also like us on Facebook. The Fairy Tale Football League is up on Facebook, and we do have an email address as well, I believe, Chris.
It's the Fairy Tale Football Podcast at Gmail.
The Fairy Tale Football Podcast at gmail.com.
Because why not?
So email us. We won't be checking the Gmail account, but email us anyways. We'll be interested in your feedback. This is very much a two-way street. We're very interested in what the listeners think.
But this isn't what we're normally about, is it, Eamon?
What are we normally about, Chris?
Well, normally we watch the football and we tell how it's going.
Yes, 100% of our episodes to date have been live streamed as matches have been happening. So Saturday afternoon we've been head to head with Jeff Stelling, and he is suffering from the stress of the extra competition. So tonight is a special extra broadcast for our fans who've been demanding that we come back on the air. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a recap on what's been happening in the last 5 days, the last 2 games.
The last 5 days were intense. There was a lot going on.
It certainly has been a lot going on, absolutely. So how have you gotten on in the last 5 days before I read the rest of the intro?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was very excited going into it. I thought my time had come for another boost up the ladder. And after this weekend and the last 2 days, I'm very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. It wasn't my time.
So we have an exclusive text in from Mark O'Callaghan, who's normally here co-hosting with us, and it was in response to the mispronunciation on my part. You don't even know your own website, idiots. I assumed there was a comma between website and idiots, Mark. A1 in the Leaving Cert in English, I believe. I assumed there was meant to be a comma there, or did you mean to say you don't even know your own website, idiots? Are the website idiots? Are you one of them? I don't know. Anyways, more of that later. So back to the introduction, and then we'll go back to Chris and how he's gotten on in the last 5 days. So if you have a fantasy football team and you want to join our league, then go to our website, fairytalefootball.net. Obviously, fairytalefootball.net. What else would it be? And just click on the link to join, so you can get the code to join our league there. The only condition is that you accept that we are going to slag you and your team on air and comment on how rubbish you are at picking fantasy football players.
Or if you're like the rest of the people in the league, they're pretty good, so we're in awe of all this magical tipping.
Yes, absolutely. Later on today...
I'm in awe. I have no idea how they do it.
Oh, Chris Brown is an up-and-comer. By next year he's going to be semi-pro, I think. But we're hoping tonight to speak to the head honcho, number 1 in our league, Chris Smithy Smith. Hopefully he'll be on air at some point. What else are we going to be talking about? We're going to be discussing the football results from the last 2 games, how it affects the league, blah 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 blah, injury suspensions, double game weeks, transfers, and lots of exclusives.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. If you're not tuning in, you're missing out.
Well,
obviously you won't know you're missing out if you haven't tuned in, but you are.
To be fair, there's probably a fair few people that have had enough of football for the last few days.
Well, I disagree. I don't think such a thing could have happened. And if you're sick of football, you're probably not sick of fantasy football. that you're probably just rearing up for more fantasy football as the actual football itself cools down.
Of course. So you could never be sick of fantasy football.
No, obviously not. Not in our experience.
That's
anyway.
why it's a fairy tale.
That's why it's fairy tale. That's why we're on the air on this special Thursday evening. So you'll be able to listen back to previous episodes at our particular website, which is fairytalefootball.net. I would like to yet again thank our sponsors, Porsche.com. There was worries during the week that we would be moving to a different sponsor. We had interest from Mercedes-Benz.de and Ferrari.it were also interested, but I can confirm Porsche.com, you still have Porsche.com, sorry Mark, sorry. They're still our sponsors. Our other sponsors, Cork Coffee Roasters, they're very generously providing us
with nothing.
Nothing. They have nothing. We haven't told them, but we want anything.
We will mention them every podcast until we get up the time to go and talk to them, because I'm sure they'll be impressed, and I'm sure they will sponsor us with coffee.
I think when they listen back to these podcasts and they hear the quality, then
it really is good coffee.
Retrospective coffees.
And if they don't, we'll go down to Filter on the Quay.
Oh, they wouldn't like that.
They have the best coffee down there as well.
Okay, so that's your competition. Coffee, Cork Coffee Roasters. Be careful. Porsche.com. Be careful.
Actually, you raise a good point there, Eamon, about sponsorship. We actually are in need of dedicated, genuine sponsors. So if you've got anything that you don't want anymore, and we could use it as a prize for one of our many competitions, we would be very excited to hear from you.
Absolutely. Anyone who would like to sponsor a prize, you'll get a mention on the air, and we'll get to give something to some unfortunate fan.
And at this point, we'll take anything.
That's the sound of me drinking a beer, so I'm sure you're all interested to know that. I was expecting to be able to give an exclusive that this would be the first sober Fairy Tale Football podcast, but unfortunately that's just not true. So back to Chris Brown. How did you get on in the last 5 days? You were looking forward to charging up and closing the gap to Damien Foley last Saturday morning.
Yes, I was. Look, our friend Damien Foley, he's got a strapped team there. There's a few injuries, and he's working with what he can do. Like, he hasn't got a lot of money there, but I thought I had him. But he's got some very good players. The ones that he does have are pulling out all stops for him, and I'm slipping away there.
That's really just not good enough, Chris Brown.
I know, I'm very disappointed about it, but unfortunately for me, that's the least of my worries.
That's the least of your worries. You were too focused on the man in front of you, and what happened?
Our good friend Neil McCluskey there came from nowhere. He's got a new car and he drives it fast, and it's transferring to his fantasy football. He's come from behind and he's flying up the right-hand lane.
So the overall league standings, anyways, the jealous guys, Chris Smith is still number one. Slice bread, Eamon O'Leary, for all of you who are really interested in Eamon O'Leary's fantasy football team, he's now in second place. He's overtaken Paul Hanley, who hasn't joined the Fairy Tale Football League, but that's not relevant. I've overtaken Paul Hanley. Paul Hanley, the master, the Paul Hanley monster, as some people call him, and this is his theme music when he enters a room. I'll stop that before we get sued. But yes, Paul Hanley has slipped to third, and now he has to worry about the possibility of Mark O'Callaghan overtaking him, which would be horrendous. Oh my god, we've got an exclusive here. Damien Foley, leaving in 2 minutes. Start if you want, and I can join in. We have started, Damien. You're clearly not listening. We did tell you 7:30, and we started early, so
hold on. We've got Neil McCluskey on the phone.
Neil McCluskey on the phone. The signal isn't great, Neil.
Are you getting transmission problems there, boys? Because I heard you started off 15 minutes late.
We did not. We started 15 minutes early, Neil.
It's very keen here, and you're getting off that bad start.
I disagree.
Fans waiting to get through.
I disagree, Neil. I disagree. Anyways, just for anyone who's listening in English, there will be a transcript of this available later. If you can't understand what Neil is saying, we'll translate as we go as best we can. Neil, back to you.
You can have a transcript all you want when you're 15 minutes late to my broadcast.
We're not 15 minutes late. We were scheduled for 7:30 to the general public. We just started a bit early.
On your website it said 7 o'clock.
It does actually.
Oh, balls. Yeah. I didn't look at the website. Damn.
So Neil, can you tell us how does life feel in the overtaking lane?
Fast. Very fast. It's like I'm leaving them fields behind.
And are you worried that your consistent streak's now over?
No, I was speaking to Chris Stato there, and he says that my projection was on for a massive downward peak, which didn't materialise. It was a slight speed bump. So I will be looking forward to my mid-60s next week, hopefully, and pulling away from that lead.
So what transfers are you going to be making this week, Neil? We need some exclusives.
I can't divulge that on live air, but
you can.
The competition's so stiff.
No, you can. You can tell us. Your team is rubbish. There's clearly problems there. Clichy.
It's all right for you, Mr. O'Leary, that you're at the top of the table. Let you divulge your hand first to see how quickly Mr. Hanley catches you.
Okay.
By the way, I do like the Darth Vader soundtrack. Very impressive.
I'm happy to divulge what my plans are. I'll tell you right now. Let's see now. So I'm just going to my team and see where my weaknesses are, if any. De Gea has been an absolute disaster for me in goals. He's been useless. So he's potentially on the chopping block. Wisdom is no longer playing. He was a solid player throughout the season.
Amy's excited. He can't hold on to his exclusives.
No, I'm happy to talk. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Neil McCluskey.
Should we ask Neil if he's got any other exclusives for us while he's on the phone?
Wait. We're not finished, Neil. We're not finished. Giroud, disaster. Brought him in. Not even 1 point. Disaster. So they're my main three, and Downing has been a bit of a disappointment the last few weeks as well. So they're the guys who are potentially on the chopping block for me. In terms of bringing people in, Danny Ings would be a nice one, but they've got horrendous fixtures, Burnley do. So I'd be slow to bring him in. Koscielny is going great for Arsenal, so I could potentially do Wisdom out, Koscielny in, and maybe get rid of De Gea for a cheaper keeper. Maybe get Krul back. He's been doing the business. So that's my plans, Neil. So now...
Well, actually, Neil's got Krul there, so how do you think about our guy Krul?
Are you keeping Pele, you big idiot?
I'm keeping Pele all right.
Why?
I'm breaking up here.
Why would you keep Pele? Pele's rubbish.
It seems to hear you clear coming through the computer.
Yeah. Thanks very much for calling in, Neil. We very much.
We want you in
that.
Studio next time, Neil, so we can slag you properly.
We have a call from Mr. Alan Gibson.
Alan Gibson, another exclusive.
Hello.
How are you?
Are you enjoying the show?
I'm live on here. That's good.
Yeah.
I hope my voice holds up. Just been doing some chanting.
Yeah, very good.
What sort of chanting? Political chanting? Religious chanting?
Political chanting.
Political chanting.
Could be yoga chanting.
Cove says no.
Yeah.
Cove says no.
An injury to all.
No way, he won't play. No way, he won't play.
You got it.
In the Kenny, can I have a spare penny?
Can we
You want to
actually?
hear the words of wisdom from the round points leader.
Well, that's right. You called it the perfect time there, Alan, because we were just talking about how you topped the. This is 24. Did you? No.
He tapped it this week.
No, Neil was top last week. You topped it this week. So
Yeah,
we're going
yeah,
to skip
that's
to
what I'm saying,
25.
Yeah, 63 beautiful points
The
for Alan
midweek,
Gibson.
yes.
Yeah, so that was pretty good going. Better than most would have expected from you. Unfair? No.
Well, I think that's probably fair to say.
No,
That's probably fair to say.
I think you're on the bounce back now, Alan. You've got Manchester United players are coming through for you, and it's about time you had a good lucky run.
Not all of the fans will be familiar with your work, Alan. What are you most famous for in fantasy football?
I'm most famous for being the kiss of death of captains.
And say, for example, the week you picked Sanchez as captain, what happened to him?
That was genius. Sanchez was completely fit.
Yeah.
And then I picked him as captain, and he went to 25% not playing. Then he went to 75% not playing.
And then
genius,
he missed
pure
2 games.
genius. Everyone had to change their teams.
And then who did you pick after that as captain? You probably picked somebody good after switching away from Sanchez, did you?
No, I put my hex onto Manchester City.
No. You not quite yet. After switching from Sanchez, you picked Pele. I picked Cazorla, who got me 34 points.
That's right. Southampton at home to Swansea. That's a bloody home banker, that is.
Yeah. I blame you for my 2 Southampton defenders not getting a clean sheet that game. It ended 1-0 to Swansea. That was an outrage.
That's right.
So, then the following week you went for the Man City hex.
That's right. Silva and as my captain, and Aguero as my vice captain.
So
I haven't got that wrong.
Yeah, two for Silva, 5 for Aguero.
You were unlucky that day, Alan.
But this week
I was.
things were different. What happened last night, Alan, and the last couple of nights?
Well, met with the footballing gods, and I triple bluffed them, and I gained my revenge.
Excellent. You went for Di Maria as captain.
Everyone else went for that Donkey Sanchez, and I went for the genius that is Di Maria.
Di Maria. That was a pretty good move.
It did
7
pay off,
points. Yeah. Very respectable.
And actually, I can reveal now an exclusive. You've won our first prize of the Fairy Tale Football League, which is Captain of the Week.
Captain of the Week, Alan Gibson.
See, I was just waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Fairy Tale
So
League.
how ironic.
How ironic.
Wow,
The irony is beautiful.
Now I've got the mantle, and I'll be looking to carry it on. Do you want to hear my prediction already? I know who's going to be captain for the next
Yes,
game.
we really do.
Absolutely. We need to know this one.
It's going to be Kane for captain.
Oh,
Kane for captain.
I've got
okay,
Kane.
folks. That's your signal.
There you go, people.
Home to West Ham United. I think it's time to sell. Harry Kane has
Or
hit
do you-
his maximum point.
Or do we follow the gods now and make Kane captain?
Well, that's the other possibility.
Jeez, everyone's going to be deliberating now. We've got a
They
few
will be,
days.
yes.
Harry
Right,
Kane.
See?
If you're listening, Harry Kane, probably get in touch with Alan Gibson and ask him to change. That would be my advice.
Now, of course, you're listening, Mr. Kane.
Yeah,
we're
I
very
think
impressed
he's
with how
fine.
you
I'm
work.
sure it is, yeah.
Any other exclusives for us, Alan Gibson? Make one up if you don't have anything.
Well, I dropped Aguero.
Oh,
You dropped Aguero.
I dropped Aguero,
wow,
yes.
wow, that is really an exclusive.
8.2 million in the bank.
Berahino from
West-
West Brom.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
there's a genius move if ever I heard one.
Wow.
That's even better than Mr. Folding's bringing in Cordero.
Yeah. You do know that Newcastle or that Man City are home to Newcastle in their next game.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
Aguero's he's
Home-
carrying an injury, so
Yeah,
No
but he's a
problem.
week and a half to recover. That's madness, Alan. That's
So, well,
Genius and
can you
genius, they're so close together.
can you reveal that you swapped him in for Costa then?
no. He
not
told us.
Costa, no.
He brought in
I dropped
Berahino.
Berahino. Sorry, I
I
missed
brought
it.
Berahino in.
I wasn't paying attention because I was just checking. You're one of 10,836 people to have shipped out Aguero this week already.
10,000
Exactly, you
lunatics.
see? It's where the smart money is. Everyone's following me already.
Well, I think most of them would be bringing in Costa.
If I could just make 1 point, take a look at the overall standings on fairytalefootball.net/standings, and you'll see one thing that's very clear: a black line dropping precipitously, the line of death.
But
I'm
actually,
sure your statisticians could draw me a nice trend line.
Yeah, it's pretty linear and it's downward trending, and it's hit minus
Downward
340.
trend from about October, I think.
but you
Yeah.
are one of 4 people in the league to have held first place, I do believe.
The first.
That is correct.
What did you
Back
do
in
that
those
first
heady
week?
days of September, I'm a sunshine player. The dark winter lights, I don't like it.
That's the southern hemisphere in us
The
coming
sun's
out.
coming back now. Coming
Yeah.
into spring, that's
Yeah.
where I come in again.
I think you're going to have a big rebound here, and you'll be up challenging us at the bottom of the table again there.
I don't think so.
I think that Joe's got to worry.
Oh yeah, let's go back to game week 1. This is Alan Gibson's moment of glory this year. He had McGregor in goals, got 14 points.
It was a brilliant
He
start.
had Chester in defence, 15 points. Davies in defence for 5 points. 3 of those Hull players. And
Hull
he got
players, yes.
Debussy
Back in the
clean
day.
sheet. He had
Rooney
as captain. Costa. It was ludicrous, and he got 71 points that week, which
Wow,
was just insane.
We were very worried when you took off like that. Alan.
Yeah, you were top 40,000 at that point, Alan. But
I was a contender.
You still are in my eyes, Alan.
That's lovely Antipodean
Yeah.
solidarity there.
Let's stick together.
This is our other southern hemisphere influence here, Alan Gibson, all the way from New Zealand. So we've really gone international with this league. We've got New Zealand, Australia, England, and all over Ireland represented. So that's pretty good.
Brilliant. Do you have any other exclusives for us there, Alan? Or do you want to join us while we go back to looking at Game Week 24? We've sort of lost.
No, I've got to sign off. This is a very limited time window between my other social arrangements. I've fitted you in.
Thank you very much,
because I
Alan.
realise how important this is.
Yeah.
We're very honoured.
We really do appreciate the call. Thanks, Alan.
And I'll be looking to be on next week again, or not next week, whenever it is after the next round of games.
Saturday 21st.
Is whatever the week again.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Great.
Well, we hope your magic comes through for you, because I've got Kane still. I'm not selling Kane.
Yeah, I'm not selling Kane, but I'm not making him captain.
Well, actually, we should all make Kane captain as well.
No, that's a terrible plan. Aguero for captain, obviously.
Well, we'll negotiate. We'll negotiate.
Yeah, make Aguero captain. Yeah.
That's to come. That's to come later in the podcast.
Yeah. We'll talk more about captains. Thanks, Alan. All right, goodbye, Alan.
Bye.
Ciao.
The wildcards are behind us. The last player to play the wildcard was Mr. Mark O'Callaghan. And maybe it's time we give Mark a call. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see if he's there. I don't know.
I'll call him.
Get him on the phone there.
Yeah. All right, Mark, we know you're listening and we're about to call you, so this is very exciting.
Come up with something useful to say. We're very sad you're not here with us, Mark.
Yeah, it has brought the atmosphere down a bit, I think. Everyone was looking forward to more Marky magic. Mark, you there?
We need him on speaker.
Wait. Yeah, go for it.
What's the story, boy?
Story.
On the radio.
Yeah.
You're on the radio. You're famous.
Yeah.
I knew that one day I would be just as famous as Marty Whelan. I knew it. So I'd just like to say, fuck you, Marty Whelan. That's all I'd like to say. I'm bigger than you now. It won't be me that's stalking you anymore. It'll be you that's stalking me, Marty Whelan.
Thanks for that exclusive.
That's a great exclusive.
That's the exclusive number one that I'd like to tell you.
Do you have more exclusives for us, Mark?
Paul Lambert has left Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's an exclusive. We've just received word.
That's the first time anybody's ever mentioned it. Paul Lambert has actually left Aston Villa.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's an exclusive. Mark was just speaking to Paul Lambert. He's good friends with him. And
I was just talking.
Paul, what did Paul say when he was leaving? Did he just say, I didn't want to do the job anymore, or what?
Well, what he basically said is that Aston Villa is a crock of shit.
They're beneath them. They're beneath them.
Oh, does that get beeped out?
No. We've removed the beeping for tonight, so you can curse away like mad. That's no problem.
We're still before the watershed now, for your information.
There's no watershed online.
I'd also I have another exclusive.
Go on.
I have another exclusive here from Columny.
Yeah.
My dog is also listening. So
Hooray! So we have two dogs listening. Our dog is listening here. 2 dogs listening. Bubbles is listening as well, aren't you, Bubbles? She doesn't look impressed, to be honest.
Well, maybe my dog can say hello to your dog through the radio.
Woof, woof.
I don't know.
If you can organise that'd be fine. Otherwise,
she doesn't want to talk.
How did your wild card go, Mark?
I'd like to apologise for taking it completely off what you're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
I'd like to apologise for that.
No, that's why we called you.
How did your wild card go?
You played your wild card.
I can't understand the foreign guy.
I'll talk. Good Cork English here.
My wild card was terrible.
What happened?
Terrible.
What happened?
Well, I made a balls of it.
As always?
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I sold Hazard.
Ha. Why did you do that, Mark?
Because I hate him. I hate him. I bought him. He fecked me over all season. I had him out, and the reason Eamon O'Leary nearly beat me in our famous bet was because he had Hazard and I didn't.
You had Oscar.
He was scoring goals. What?
You had Oscar that time, didn't you?
I had Oscar, and Oscar was shite.
And did you bring Oscar back in?
Well,
Did you?
It was an accident. My finger slipped.
Did you brought Oscar back in?
I think.
How did he get on last night, Mark? How did he get on? Did he play well?
Well, I'd like to tell you, he may have played well for the Chelsea reserve under-20s team, but he wasn't actually playing for the Chelsea first team, unfortunately. So I think you'll find that I might have got a big fat 0 for Oscar last night.
I'd like to announce an exclusive here, Mark. Damien Foley is in the building.
Oh, no names, no full names.
Damien, what's the story,
It's
boy?
Mark from work.
What's the story, boy?
Hi, Carl.
Can you hear me on the radio?
Yeah. Everyone can hear you.
Everyone can hear you, Mark. The whole of Cork is listening.
So this is a world exclusive that Damien Foley has arrived.
Yeah.
I've also got another Fairy Tale Football exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard on the way in, well, it's come courtesy of Johnny Giles.
Uh-huh.
You mean you weren't listening to us?
Paul Lampard has been sacked as Aston Villa manager.
Paul
Oh
Lampard.
my God.
Paul Lampard.
Oh no, because we just broke the exclusive that Paul Lambert was. We
No,
just
no.
literally a few minutes ago we broke that exclusive.
Well, obviously Paul Lampard, I don't know, maybe a cousin
Did he
or
take
brother
over
of,
and
of
then
Frank.
was fired?
I'm guessing he just took over in the last few minutes and has been fired
Paul
within the
Lampard, Frank
hour.
Lampard.
Aston Villa realised he wasn't a manager. He had no training. He had no qualifications, and they said, "What did we bring you in for?" And they fired him. Apparently, Paul Lambert quit because, according to Mark, he said Aston Villa was a crock of shit, and it was below his abilities, and he didn't want to stay there anymore.
Relegation is looming.
As a manager, I suppose that's you don't really want to be managing crocks of shit.
No.
I imagine Lambert wants to be managing, Bayern Munich or something, not
Has
crocks of
Paul
shit.
Lampard been linked to any other jobs?
There's been no quotes from
No.
his people yet,
People have been quiet.
but I presume they'll come
Somewhere in
probably
Spain,
drafting
maybe
a
somewhere in
statement.
Spain.
courtesy of Frank, maybe. I'm not sure.
Obviously, they're drafting a statement as we speak.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Exclusive. You heard
Yeah.
it here.
Yeah. We might have an
Second.
exclusive from Paul Lampard before the end of the show. We can't promise that. Obviously we can't promise
that Paul
that.
Lampard doesn't exist.
Shut up, Mark. He does.
I'm sorry, it's true. He doesn't exist.
He does exist. If John Giles said
Only
it.
truthful things are said. Only truthful things are said on the Fairy Fantasy Football podcast.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, let me tell you this then.
At fairytalefootball.net.
Fairytalefootball.net, Porsche.com, newstalk.ie.
And I have a question.
Please.
I have a question. Why didn't you read out my comment, Damon O'Leary?
What comment?
I commented. I sent in a text commentary. Numerous text comments, and you never.
I read one of them.
My comment was that Neil McCluskey is an idiot.
Oh, sorry. I will read that after you go off air.
You never read it out. Why didn't you?
I didn't see it. I would have read it out. I had no problem reading that text message.
We're very busy here in the studio.
It's-
Well, I suppose you've been inundated with comments as well. I suppose. So it's
Yeah.
understandable.
We're filtering calls, you see.
And with only two hosts, it's hard to manage everything. You see,
Yeah.
our
left
regular
that.
co-host, he's brilliant, he's great, he's a fan favorite, but he couldn't make it tonight. We're not sure why.
Yeah. The
Something
crowds are
about dinner
deserving.
and wanting to stay at home for the night.
What about Cake Corner? Are you doing Cake Corner?
No, actually, and yes, that is an exclusive. The next show, the next live podcast, there will be a cake corner. There'll be cake. We'll be eating cake on the air and then discussing it.
This is just a stream of exclusives. Each one greater than the last.
More exclusive than the last.
I
because
have one final exclusive.
Okay.
I have one final exclusive. Miles has disclosed to me today that he would join the next Fantasy Football podcast in person.
Hooray!
No.
It's true.
Yeah.
That podcast will be Fantasy Football / Taylor Swift
Yeah.
podcast.
Tay.
I
Tay-
hope not.
Tay
I hope
Swizz.
not.
For those of you who are not Fairy Tale Football, Fantasy Football fans, but are fans of Taylor Swift, that will be a good episode for you.
Are many of those people listening right now?
About
I
Wait,
can
just
say
wait
I
till-
love you, Taylor Swift.
Mark
I know
also
you-
loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We're going to,
Tay, if you're listening right now, which of course you are,
please follow us.
Yeah.
Text.
we'll send you Mark's phone number.
We're
later.
sick of just following you. Please follow us.
And
as well.
if anyone knows Tay, just get in touch or tell her to tune in.
Can I say one more thing before I hang up? Again?
Always.
This is I would fancy. I'm going to bring things back on track here now. This is fantasy football related.
Go on.
I would like to make an official death threat.
Okay.
Death
Okay,
threat
this is an exclusive.
against Oscar Dos Santos Mboaba Jr.
Okay.
If he doesn't play and score at least 2 goals at home to Burnley on the 21st of February, I will go to Chelsea and I will kill him.
Excellent.
You'll kiss him.
No, he said kill him.
I'm pretty sure he said kiss
That's
him.
an exclusive. That's our first death threat. Death threat of the week. That's a new segment, and
No,
Mark is the
don't-
first one.
I think that's a
Do you
misunderstanding.
have
No.
any more questions for me before I leave you?
No, I think you've answered all our questions.
has anyone-
Damien, any more questions,
I'm very
Chris?
much enjoying your show.
Don't-
I'm very much enjoying it.
Don't
Very
hang
good.
up yet. Don't hang up yet. Anything
Okay.
more, Damien?
No, nothing more. I'm just interested to see you kiss this player from Burnley.
No, he said
Yeah,
kill. He said
yeah,
kill. He's
I-
threatening to murder
I said
Oscar.
kill.
No.
I said kill.
He did say kill.
I heard kiss as well.
Well, we'll ask Mark.
Bit romantic for me.
Yeah, if you could send your messages directly to the police next time and cut out the middleman.
Very
Okay.
good. Thanks
Okay,
for,
lads.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
calling.
very
Mark.
much. Thank
Thanks,
you. Great
Mark.
show.
Bye-bye.
Great
Thanks
show.
for making the show special, Mark.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, you
revoir.
French idiot.
Well, so we've got Damien joined us now.
Yes.
Can you tell us why you benched Harry Kane in game week 24? Talk us through it, please.
I'm gonna bring up a text I had. First of all, I'm going to bring up a conversation I had with Eamon after the last podcast,
Okay.
where I said I think the Arsenal defence is strong. I don't think Harry Kane will do anything.
Was this
against
an off-air
Arsenal.
discussion?
Yes, it was off-air.
Of course.
And then
Yeah. Harry Kane wouldn't do anything. Did you bench him?
yes,
Yeah, that was a good move. Who won? It was 2-0 to Arsenal?
And I think on Saturday at 2:30, I texted Eamon saying, as I was saying, I don't think Kane will score against Arsenal.
So, and how did that work out? Because my short-term memory is gone.
Yeah, he might have scored 2 goals.
2 goals, a lot of points, 13 points.
Yeah.
And he was didn't he? But he probably came on for you because you probably had injuries or something. No.
No, I
Just-
made about 4 substitutions, 4 transfers.
4 transfers.
And I didn't have any injured players.
Oh no.
And I put all my eggs in the Quadrado-shaped basket.
Yeah, you do. You brought in Cuadrado. For everyone who's unfamiliar with Cuadrado, because they've never heard of him and they've never seen him play, and he's done nothing when he has played. Who is he?
He played really well in the World Cup. I thought he was going to start in place of Willian.
Villian.
But since Quadrado has come and there's now competition for that position, Villian is starting to
playing
play
brilliantly.
out of his skin.
So he was just resting until
Yeah.
now.
And
he's-
I had previously gotten rid of Oscar because he was doing nothing.
yeah, that was a good move.
Then he got loads of points in 2 game weeks. I brought him back at massive expense, and now he's not doing very much again.
Incidentally, I would recommend selling Oscar at some point in the next 10 days because his value is likely to decline dramatically post-mortem. Cuadrado didn't work out. Kane on the bench didn't work out.
Yeah.
Did anything work out, Damien?
No, not quite.
No.
Well,
So it's been a disaster. Is that fair to say?
Pretty much. I'm just going to bring up my team here.
Here's the green line of Damien Foley. And it's sinking into the mire.
I think
Down,
your
down,
main
down.
problem is actually a lack of funds at this point in time, is it not? You're not finding the pinch
No,
because
no.
you've got only just over 100,000.
I would have said your main problem was the fact that Neil McCluskey is almost caught up with
Yeah,
you. That's humiliating.
No, that's temporary. Neil's about to dive again. We've discussed that.
You're only
Neil-
7 points
Neil's
ahead of
only
him.
7 points. behind
7
me.
points. 7 points. Oh my God, that's
But I
outrageous.
actually think
But if you look at it the other way, I am a mere 206 points behind Chris Smith.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's not insurmountable.
That
With this team, it is.
We have an exclusive text from Chris Smith here. Sorry, got the kids. We'll try and listen in later, and whatever Mark says is rubbish. So
That's
there's an
given.
exclusive. Unfortunately, we won't have Mr. Number 1 Chris Smith on the air tonight, but look forward to him Saturday week.
we only have 15 minutes to go, you lads.
Okay, we've only 15 minutes left. I would like to read out a text, a very important text that's just come in here. And it's from Barry from Skegness. Thank you, Barry. Currently reading The Outsider, a history of the goalkeeper, and examines why so many brilliant people have played there, like Camus, Joyce, and Nabokov. Does the existence of David James mean the author's a Wally? That's open for debate. Chris Brown probably doesn't know who David James is.
I haven't got a clue
no,
what you're talking
no,
about, Barry.
all of that is mental.
It was Barry, wasn't it?
It was Barry from Skegness.
Barry's a very Australian name for.
Well, it's also
No, it's Barry, not Bruce.
You're confusing it,
Baz.
Bruce, with Bruce.
I
Maybe
suppose
Baz.
it
Baz,
depends
huh?
on which David James you're
Baz.
talking about. There are several incarnations of David James. There was the good young David James,
There was the
There was
promising David James.
the
yeah.
promising David James before him. Then there
Yeah.
was the bad David James who thought he was
Some sort of
outstanding.
Spice Boy.
And then there was the bad David James that realised he was bad.
And then he gave up.
And then he just stopped trying.
Yeah. I think overall you couldn't say that one David James disproves the theory. Is he the exception that proves the rule? Have all other goalkeepers gone on to write important literature? Can anyone think of an example other than David James?
Yeah, well,
To be fair, did Joyce write his stuff in his early 20s, eearly 30s? He wrote some of it, yeah.
This has got nothing to do with
Camus-
game week 25.
No,
I'll tell you
no,
that.
shut up.
Or
Chris.
26.
Shut up, this is more, did Camus write his stuff when he just retired from football? I don't know. Barry, can you fill us in? Because for all we know, David James is at home right now, listening to us, obviously, and writing. So,
Look, Bazza.
David James, you're probably listening to us. So if you could write in, what are you working on right now? Is it a great novel? Is it the great English novel of the 21st century? Is that what you're working on?
What on earth is this?
Chris Brown has gone mental. He doesn't know what's happening anymore.
The Australian has been angered by book talk.
Damien, is the nickname Damien I was too lazy to transfer out Costa Foley, is that an appropriate nickname for you? This is a callback to our last show, folks, for those who are listening, where Damien, when he was asked why he didn't transfer out Costa, what was your response?
See, now bringing that up, you're alienating new listeners who just joined us in episode 2.
I'm tying it back so they'll listen to the previous one. They say, oh, I really want to know the backstory there. Mark's already mentioned our bet, and they're saying, oh, I wonder what's going on there. And they're thinking, oh, maybe if I listen back to the last podcast, I'll find it. Damien Foley, back to you. Why did that nickname originate? Where did it originate?
My plan was to keep Costa.
Okay, yeah.
Because I thought that I would transfer him out, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't transfer him back in quick enough.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had the money to buy him back.
Yeah.
So the plan was to keep him and have him on the bench. And then after the 3 games I would still have him and everything would be great with the world.
Okay.
But I just stuck him on the pitch because he was going to be transferred out anyway, and who knows what could have happened. He might have ended up playing. Mourinho might have just said, screw the ban, he's playing anyway.
He's playing anyway.
He gets several hat-tricks. So, you know, that's why.
Because my memory of the conversation was this, which slightly seems to be slightly different from yours, that you said I didn't transfer him out because I thought he was only get a 1-game ban. Ivanovic stamped on a player. He stamped on 2 players, but he only got charged for one of the stampings. And Costa was going to get a 3-match ban. It was clear to the whole world that he was getting a 3-match ban. But we were waiting on the Thursday evening for the results to come in. Obviously, you till Saturday morning to make the transfers. Yeah. And on Thursday evening, it was announced he had a 3-game ban, and that was the end of it. Damien Foley, when asked why he didn't take him out, he said he thought he'd only get a 1-match ban, despite the fact that with at least 24 hours notice, he knew he had a 3-match ban. And then when I asked, we all knew he was good.
But to his defence, he's a busy man.
I'm going to explain all this. That explanation I just gave you about Costa was the real reason.
Oh, the
one I just told you before
air.
was just to avoid the complication of having to explain this.
Okay, that's fine. So
which is really backfired because I've had to explain both situations.
Now the nickname has been retired. So after that thorough and clear explanation.
So on that note, I've got a new nickname for you. The hospital, because you've got a lot of players there that are injured.
I've only got 2.
Suspended.
Okay, hold on.
Austin, Chester, Chambers isn't playing. What's going on?
Why are you keeping Chambers? Chambers is rubbish.
Yeah, I know, but...
So you're Damien the Hospital Foley.
I had made 4 transfers. I wasn't going to make it.
You made 4 transfers and that was your team.
Yes.
Explain yourself.
This is coming back to the money. I'm sure it's got to be a factor for you.
First off,
Damien Foley, Oscar's captain.
Oscar dos Santos Mboaba Jr. is going, especially after that threat from Mark, is definitely going to play. Yeah. Screw that. Chambers. Okay, I have no subs.
You have no subs.
But I will. I'm not going to make transfers now.
You're going to be in trouble.
Why did you put
double game week?
Forster on the bench?
Forster's been on the bench for a long time.
The double game week's going to.
My reason is that De Gea, Man United were kind of keeping some clean sheets, but he was still being peppered with shots. Yeah. So that he was making lots and lots of saves.
Do you regret those managerial decisions now?
I regret nothing.
You regret nothing. That's an official exclusive.
Till the day I die, I will argue that this team, in real life, on the pitch, would kick anyone's ass.
You had Klein on the bench. You had Klein on the bench, Damien. They were at home to Swansea, not Swansea.
Well,
somebody even Rubisher.
West Chambers didn't
Rubisher.
Hold on, no. West Ham are not rubbish. West Ham are not rubbish.
Do you have any players that play anymore, Damien? Clichy on the bench. Oscar on the bench. Austin, Chester, Chambers. The only good player you have is Forster, and you put him on the bench. He got more points than Klein.
Hold on, what you're saying to me is, oh, Damien, how did you not know before the matches that this guy would have scored a lot of points?
No, what I'm saying to you is your decisions are ridiculous. They're terrible. You had Klein and Forster on the bench. With the exception of Harry Kane, they outscored every other player on your team.
Okay, but I didn't know that until after the fact.
We've got another text. Barry from Castells has gotten back to me.
Baza.
Mark Bosnich must surely have a tale of existentialist Inuit to tell, and let us not forget the Pulitzer Prize nominated Bruce Grobbler. P.S. Camus and Joyce were well beyond their playing days when they wrote most important works. So therefore, the David James theory can be thrown out at this point. It proves nothing. And to date, we have no examples of goalkeepers who didn't write excellent fiction.
We're going to cut to the chase now.
So,
are you going to bring in Costa?
Well, David has Costa, doesn't he?
No,
you sold him. you kept him for 2 weeks and then sold him.
Yes.
Are you going to bring him back?
I needed to fund other transfers.
It is a money thing. I told you.
My team is falling apart. I took a chance. It didn't pay off.
Hospitals get government funding.
It didn't pay off.
8.5 million for Quadrado.
Well, I paid far more money than that.
To be fair, you got him at a cheaper price than Chelsea. That's about the only positive thing you could say. They paid like 26 million and you got him for 8.5.
I took a gamble. It didn't pay off.
Yeah, you took a series of gambles and they all worked out really badly.
You're going to need to make some major reshuffles for the game.
So Chris Brown, you're planning on bringing in Costa, is that correct?
I'm going to see if I can make it happen because I think it's... Well, I'm going to wait until Sunday when we find out whether Chelsea will play... Leicester on the in game week 28 when the QPR Spurs game's going to happen.
Okay, so we don't know about that yet. But your intention at this time is to bring in Costa.
Especially, yes. If I can.
And I would just like to put on the record that that's insane.
Yeah. And because I don't know what I'm doing, of course.
I'll give you the reasons. Firstly, you're bringing him in, and the exact next game week he's out. He's got no game. No game for
money.
Chelsea.
You've got enough money.
Yeah,
you can put him on the bench, no bother.
What do you think about bringing in Aguero?
Well,
everyone's got Aguero except you.
You thought of Aguero. Oh God! I'd like to apologise for the rubbishness of David Foley.
Aguero doesn't have to go to the hospital.
This is just terrible.
I'm going to make about 9 transfers.
I hadn't realised how bad your team had
gotten. Yeah, it's rubbish. I'm telling you, I'm firefighting for weeks.
Like, you had good players and you got rid of them. And
I didn't. They weren't playing.
So what happened to your wild card?
I used 2 of them.
The good news is
and the result of those 2 wild cards is this team you see before you.
Okay.
I guess the good news is that no one actually put Aguero as captain.
Apart from Paul Hanley. Yeah. But here's the thing, Costa, he's going to have a blank after the Burnley game. And he's on 8 yellow cards, and he's a man who likes to stamp other players.
But those yellow cards expire at
they don't at the end
March.
of the season.
No. There's another cut-off.
No, there's not.
No, there's
not.
I'm not
making this up.
You are making this up. There's no cut-off. All he needs is 2 more yellow cards, and he's got another 3-match ban.
There's another cut-off.
Hold on. I'm going to bing this.
Okay, me and Chris can mutter away to ourselves. You limited amount of time.
Well,
and don't say Bing. Nobody uses Bing. Google it. Don't try and make Bing it a phrase, David. I know you've been working.
We're not sponsored by any of them. So
we are.
It's brought to you by Bing.com.
It is not. I haven't signed off on their sponsorship.
Walters, how injured is he?
25% injured. He'll be fine. And they're playing managerless Aston Villa, who've had 2 managers depart in under 24 hours. Paul Lampard, followed shortly by Paul Lampard. So I would say Walters as a very cheap, very skillful midfielder.
You're saying get rid of Kane, bring in Walters.
Yeah, that's a like-for-like sub, 1 midfielder for a forward. Ivanovic going well, and he isn't going to be punished for strangling an Everton player.
No, that's an exclusive.
That's an exclusive. He strangled him to death, but they said it's okay, it was only a game. So that's fine. 2 minutes left, folks, so we're going to have to wrap this up shortly.
Enjoy
Blind, obviously, don't bring in.
Arsenal really have the good fixtures. They got. Is it worth just mentioning that there's a few of our followers on Twitter there have some very good tips, and I'd like to give a shout out to Fantasy Tips and Updates, FPL Fantasy Football, FPL Avids, FF247, and
Fantasy Football 24/7.
There's a guy out there that gives help, and I can't remember what his name is, but
so
you can write to him.
Yeah, write to us, and we'll pass on your details to him.
The lads on Twitter are very helpful. So
yeah,
I watched basically all games simultaneously on Twitter the other day, and it was like I was at all matches all at the same time.
So really, really boring.
Yeah, really boring.
And but in many places.
In my case, really, really depressing.
Okay, so we got to finish this up. We got to finish this up, lads. Okay, so next time we're on the air is going to be the 21st of February, Saturday, 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Jess Stelling, prepare for the competition. we're coming for you. I haven't written an outro, so
I got quick.
How long do we have left?
40 seconds.
Quick mention: if anyone is looking to buy a house, check out 132 Dunoon on daft.ie. Just went up today. You couldn't do better.
Okay, and to play us out,
the true reason
the ghost of Pavarotti. Thank you, Pavarotti's ghost, for joining us live in studio. Another exclusive.
He's constantly singing. He won't just talk to us.
No, he just came in and started singing. He's got a lovely voice, though. He's a lovely voice. He's almost as good as Father Chad.
See you next Saturday week, guys.
Saturday
Ciao.
week. We're out of here.